Good morning, 25 after 8. You're looking down at the Science Center, and we are talking tech. You know, you can't name a Canadian city, Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg, Toronto, and of course Vancouver, where a major motion picture hasn't been filmed recently. Hollywood North, it's not just Vancouver, it is spreading across the country, but locally there are new reasons for films to be produced here. It's Wednesday, and we are joined by tech expert Mike Yanni. Mike, you have something a little bit different for us this morning.
Yeah, normally we're talking tech headlines. We're kind of switching up and focusing on movies, and specific movies and big blockbusters that are filmed and produced, and especially those special effects that are all done in Canada. You guys are used to this. I mean, there's always films being shot. But right now, The Rock is in Calgary. Kevin Hart's here. Jack Black. Jumanji, the sequel, is being filmed just outside of the city limits. But it's interesting to see how much work goes into not only filming these, but creating those special effects. So Industrial Light and Magic in Vancouver invited us and said, hey, how would you like to come and see how it's all done? And so we, of course, said, yes. Take a look.
They are the stories that move us, the tales that captivate and suspend our disbelief.
The sea and all sorts of different fish creatures to things like Star Wars and, space battles, creatures, you name it, we've done it.
Celia Jepson and her team are responsible for breathing life into some of the world's biggest blockbusters, from Captain Marvel to the Star Wars franchise.
Push it! Watch this.
Even the upcoming live-action Aladdin movie. Many of the digital effects you see on screen were done here at Industrial Light and Magic. It's a hidden gem built inside an old meatpacking facility right in the heart of Gastown. There's no signage, you wouldn't even know it's here, and that's done on purpose.
People just don't realize how much work is done here. It's quite amazing, actually.
At any given time, Industrial Light and Magic is working on half a dozen unannounced projects. It's becoming commonplace in this city. Vancouver is now the third largest television and film production center in North America, bringing in billions of dollars each year.
Professor X's mansion, it shot in Victoria, and some of these kind of classic scenes from movies that I grew up with were shot in alleys, down the street. There's a pleasant, heartwarming feeling about that. A home that I didn't know existed.
Greg Kegel used to call California home, but 6 years ago, this American found himself drawn to Vancouver. Back then, the studio was small. Now he's one of nearly 500 employees that have come from around the world to work for the Canadian arm of ILM.
It's kind of cool to know that you can sort of tell a story or make a story anywhere. And leverage surroundings like Vancouver.
Just visiting Industrial Light and Magic is an experience in itself. Sure, there are the 7-foot-tall turtle statues. There are the stories from employees who claim these historic buildings are haunted. But it's when you see what the employees are able to do, that's when it clicks, and you realize there's a reason why they call it movie magic.
I'm a driver, and I'm a flyer.
Kegel is showing me some of the work his team did on Solo, a Star Wars story. Remember that scene where Han Solo and Kira are trying to escape Corellia on foot? This is how the scene looked before Kegel and his team worked their magic. And here's what it looks like after. The difference is breathtaking. And how about this high-speed chase? Before and after. Kegel and his team also had to digitally insert Han Solo's face into the final scene as the stunt double wore a mask that only vaguely resembled the character.
We're constantly raising the bar on quality and realism, but there's still things that, for me, are amazing. Even though I know exactly how it was made, and every step of the way, the process, it still feels a little bit like magic.
When you get friends who call you and say, hey, I saw your name up on the screen, that is so cool, it really does make you feel kind of awesome.
So, Michael, I know I said I was going to give you a tour of Industrial Light and Magic. You might notice we didn't actually show much of the interior of the building. You notice that?
Yeah, why is that?
Well, because we had to sign non-disclosure agreements that we wouldn't show certain things on camera because they're working on so many top-secret projects right now. These are movies that haven't even been announced yet. So we had to be very careful. We saw things that we can't talk about, but it was a pretty cool experience.
But you got in the background of some shots or into some computer animations, though, right, Mike? So we'll see you in some of those films, I would imagine.
Of course, of course. course. One thing I should mention, because it's Canada and we are proud Canadians, some of the people at the studio there, they put little bits of Canadiana in the background. So they said if you watch really carefully some of the Star Wars movies, some of the Marvel flicks, you never know when something might be in the background
Really?
that screams, "Go Canada."
Amazing.